Middle Georgia. This is meteorologist Noah Hauk. Currently, no active tornado warnings, which is good. We did just have one that went through Upson and a little bit into Lamar, but thankfully there is nothing that is active at the moment. So we're kind of just going to look at the severe thunderstorm warnings that are going through the mid-state, talk about those, talk about what we could be expecting as we head throughout the remainder of the morning, and even what's to follow even once this front makes its way on through. So a lot going on across Middle Georgia right now. We've got a lot of storms out there, a lot of lightning activity, so I'm going to pause it to where it is just right now currently. So now we've got severe thunderstorm warnings that are going to be over towards Jasper, Butts County, going through Monroe, Lamar, over towards Upson, over into Taylor County and Crawford County as well. This is where that leading edge of that front is going to be. Not nearly as much lightning that was in it before. But then, as I step aside and you look behind me, a lot of lightning going on with this other separate section of the storm. You'll notice we did just get that new severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued. And that is going to be including Bibb County over into Jones, into Baldwin, a little bit into Houston and Peach County, and even into Twiggs as well. So that is going to be one of the main threats we talk about today, is those damaging winds. We do have the chance to see a spin-up tornado like we just saw not too long ago. Have the chance to see some of those damaging winds, and even a little bit of hail can be mixed in as well. So we're just going to kind of talk about it again, go over what we might see in the coming hours, and especially after we head throughout the remainder of today. And if you just give me just a second, I'm just going to be pushing out a notification for this new severe thunderstorm warning just real quick. And then we will get right back to it. This isn't going to be until 8:30 a.m. Yeah, again, right now, no active tornado warnings, which is always a good thing. And then we will just be talking about these severe thunderstorm warnings that are making their way through Middle Georgia. So we will put a tracker. I'm actually going to see how fast that report was saying it was moving, so we can put a tracker on it, and it's moving east at 50 miles an hour. So it is moving quite quickly. So let me just update that in our system so that we can get this ongoing. Alrighty, so let's just draw this out right here and see where it could be going within the next 30 minutes or so. All right, so again, we have this leading edge right here of all of those storms going on. So within the next 30 minutes, these are just some of the places you could be seeing that leading edge where you have some of those strong winds, some of the heavier rainfall amounts, and maybe even some lightning mixed in as well. So right around 7:43 could be nearing in on Monticello. Right around 7:45 could be right around Juliet. Then as we head to right about 7:47, probably closing in on Lizella. Right about 7:50 could be nearing Lake Juliet. By the time we get closer towards right around 8 a.m., now could be closing in on Willard, right around Macon and Rutland, and even towards Eatonton as well. Then as we head a little bit further into 8 o'clock, right around 8:05, could be nearing Gray, and all the way to by the time we make it to about 30 minutes from now, right about 8:10, could be nearing in on Dry Branch. So again, main risks for today are going to be those damaging winds. We could even have the chance to see another brief spin-up tornado as well, and maybe even a little bit of hail mixed in. So that's over the next 30 minutes or so across Middle Georgia. And it looks like we got another severe thunderstorm warning issued, and that was going to be an expansion from Jasper into Putnam County. So I'm going to go ahead and push that one as well. But again, currently no active tornado warnings, which is always a good thing. And as we head throughout the remainder of the morning, this line will probably be around for the next couple of hours. And once it gets on out of here, it is going to get much, much, much colder here across Middle Georgia. And that'll be the big thing to worry about once we make it past this line, is the fact that it's going to get colder. And we do have that freeze warning in effect for all of Middle Georgia until tomorrow. And that new warning that was just issued is going to be until 8:15 a.m. So for the next 30 minutes. We do have our Facebook and our YouTube pulled up, so I'm actually going to go on there and look in just a second, see if you guys have any questions for me, just so I can help answer. All right. And then, hey, I know, Gary, you're over there. Do you mind checking to see if our closed captioning is on? Someone says that it might be a little bit messy. I don't know if you can see that or if anyone in the back can see that. I don't know if our closed captioning looks okay. Okay, I was told from one of our directors in the back that our captioning is on. So if it still is acting a little funky, let me know and we'll try and troubleshoot that. Sorry about that. But yeah, there was a tornado warning that was going to go through Thomaston. So that was just about 20 minutes ago is when it was initially issued. Thankfully, it has since expired, and at the moment, it has not been confirmed, so we'll have to go back and they'll have to go back and survey that area if they get reports enough to go and survey it. But for the moment, we just had that one tornado warning, and we actually did just have that severe thunderstorm warning. That was for Upson County, a little bit into Taylor County, that has been cut back and allowed to expire. So now we're just going to be watching the one that's into Jasper, Putnam, over into Baldwin, Jones, Monroe, into Bibb, a little bit into Twiggs, a little bit into Houston, all the way into Peach, Crawford, and just a little bit into Macon County. So that's a lot of counties, but these warnings typically encompass a lot of them because that line is going to be all the way through the mid-state. So again, just checking our Facebook, checking our YouTube. If there are any questions out there, of course, feel free to let me know. I'm also here with meteorologist Gary Thigpen, so he might jump in here for a little bit as well at some point. And yeah. Do we know what time for Dublin? Great question. Dublin actually is going to get some storms here in just a second. You've got some cells out in out in front of the line itself. So if we zoom in, this is that. If we zoom in to Dublin itself right here, getting some rain, a little bit of lightning mixed in. Again, this is going to be along US Route 80 and Georgia Highway 199. Some of that heavier rain with these oranges and these reds mixed in, some lightning strikes across the board. And what I can also do is pull up our Dublin camera. Just give me 1 second to pull that up and we can kind of get a look as to what is going on. Specifically, or actually just going on right now over in Dublin. So we'll see if we can get that pulled up here real quick. So yeah, definitely is getting some rainfall over in Dublin. Might be a few lightning strikes here or there, but it looks like the sun is finally starting to come up, show its face a little bit, so we get a little bit of a better look across the board, especially with some of our sky cams. Even saw a little bit of that lightning right there across downtown Dublin. So you are getting some rain right now, some of that storm, but that actual front, we can time that out as well to see when it could possibly get to Dublin itself, because it's moving at about 50 miles an hour towards the east, so it is moving rather quickly. So we will bump it up to be right about now. We will draw this out on that leading edge. And we'll bump it out across, going to right about Dublin. So in about an hour and 15 is when it could approximately get to Dublin with this leading edge right here. That's going to be associated with that front, and after that front pushes on through, you'll be clear of that severe threat, but still do have those cells out and ahead of the front that are causing a little bit of a problem, especially over towards Dublin. But across the board, big picture, it actually looks like the severe thunderstorm that was going to be over here towards Wilkinson, a little bit into Washington, over into Johnson and Lawrence County has been allowed to expire. That was going to be this cell right here, just to the south of Sandersville. Still have a good bit of lightning mixed in, still some heavy rainfall, but it looks like that warning has been allowed to expire. But we still do have the one that's going to be for Jasper and Putnam, all the way down through Houston and Peach County, and a little bit over into Macon County as well. So we're still watching those, still do have that tornado watch in effect for everyone that's going to be to the west of this line. That's still going to be in this yellow shade, I should say. So everyone's still in the yellow shade, and it's still going to be to the east of this leading edge, is still going to be within that tornado watch, or at least still have the concern of being in that tornado watch. So what I'm gonna do is actually, we've got some stuff that we've gotta do to go on air here in a second. So what I can do is I'm gonna let the stream go for just a little bit while they are allowing to get their stuff to go out on the actual airwaves and not just here on the live stream. And then I can be back and we can kind of do a little bit more about what we might see. But thank you for letting me know the caption is still kind of being a little funky. I'll try and troubleshoot that here in a minute, maybe trying to turn them off and turning them back on. But for now, I'm gonna let the rest of the crew do their thing, and then we'll be back right around the top of the hour. So till then, stay safe and try to enjoy the rest of your start to your work week here on this Monday across Middle Georgia.
Good morning, Middle Georgia. I'm Ansley Edwards with your morning news update. We have some school closures to tell you about this morning. Many Middle Georgia schools are closed or delayed today due to weather. Baldwin Bibb. Okay.
Just change your TV over to yours. All right, good morning, Middle Georgia. This is meteorologist Noah Hauk here with meteorologist Gary Thigpen. We have a new tornado warning that is now going to be including Macon. So this is going to be in Bibb County. It's also going to include a little bit of Jones County as well. So Gary, actually, if you mind just pushing that notification for that warning real quick while I'm over here just doing this. But yeah, this is the newest warning that was just issued. So we're gonna go over to this velocity over here. And so yeah, we've got a little bit of that rotation here. That's going to be right along Georgia Highway 74, right close towards Rainey Road. So if you happen to live in this area, this is the time to be getting into your safe place right now. And especially for my folks that are in the back with us here, that's going to be including us here in Macon. So make sure you guys are also staying safe in the back as well. But we've got Georgia Highway 74 along with Rainey Road. So if you happen to live in this area, especially over towards Santa Fe Trail, over towards Green Tree Parkway, this is your time to get into your safe place and make sure you're in the most interior part of wherever you happen to live, because we've got some pretty bright greens on this rotation right here. So that could indicate some pretty good rotation. So again, this is going to be including Bibb County and a little bit into Jones County as well. So if you happen to live in Macon, you happen to live right along 75 and 475, this is that time to be getting in to your safe place, because this is our another active tornado warning. It is going to be over towards 475 right now, just to the south of Lake Wildwood. Again, got some bright greens on here, have some reds out here as well. So this is something to be taking seriously and to be getting into your safe place right now. So we'll review that actually, where it is to be the safest within your own home. So it is going to be in the most interior portion of wherever you happen to live. It's also going to be wherever you can be away from windows, wherever you can be closest away from wall, or really away from windows, closest to the most interior. And especially if you have a basement, that's also going to be a very good option, or an interior closet, or even interior portion of some stairs as well. This is the time to be getting into that safe place. Maybe take a helmet with you, maybe take some shoes with you as well. So just make sure you're staying safe out there. But we do have that tornado warning now active for Bibb County and Jones County as well, including downtown Macon. So we'll zoom back in here and show this. Still going to see some bright greens out there. It's a little bit more messy than it was before, which is some good news. That's always some good news to see the rotation getting a little bit more messy, but it is still going to be down towards 475 going right across. It is going to be now down towards Crawford Road, over towards Wimbledon Road. So if you happen to live in anywhere near this area, this is that time to be getting into your safe place, because we have these reds right here. This is going away from the radar. Then you have your greens. This is going towards the radar. So this is when you get some more of that counterclockwise flow that could be indicative of some more of that rotation. That's where we have to have that tornado warning that has been issued for Bibb County and a little bit into Jones County as well. So we're going to ride through this. We're going to get through this together. And actually, I'm going to see, Gary, do you have anything new over there on your end that you're seeing?
Well, not right now, Noah. I'm going to go to Max 2 also, simply because we haven't got them changed over yet. So we'll just jump on Max 2 right quick just for a few seconds here. And just to talk about what Noah was showing, we are looking at, again, a tornado warning for Bibb County and also Jones County. That is in effect until 8:15 this morning. We're looking at a pretty solid line of showers and some heavy thunderstorms moving into Middle Georgia right now, stretching from pretty close to the Round Rock area all the way down to just to the west of Macon, which is pretty close to I-475 right now. And in addition to this tornado warning now, we could see some gusty winds with this line as it moves through, straight line winds from those tornadoes. And so definitely looking at that as a potential as well. And I know Noah was just talking about the winds, the Doppler winds. Let's take a look at that real quickly again. And we're looking at, I think, the best possibility that I can see if something may be showing up here is pretty close to the Payne City area. We're talking about Wesleyan College here, pretty close to the Payne City area. That's where it looks like we might have a little bit of possible rotation there. You can see that Payne City here, looking at this area right here, just to the west of Highway 41, pretty close to Wesleyan College. and not too far from Vineville, though. So again, we're continuing to watch these rotations as it's spinning up here, and this particular spin up here across Bibb County. Again, possible tornado, but it has been radar indicated of some rotation there. So Noah, I'll send it back over to you, and I'm going to continue to do something over here right quick.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for that, Gary. So yeah, as he said, we're just going to be continuing to watch this tornado warning. That is going to be for Bibb County and into Jones County as well. So if you happen to live anywhere in this red polygon, this is your time to be getting into your safe place right now. Because as we were talking about with that first tornado warning, with these line of storms, this is when you can have the chance to see a tornado spin up, then spin back down, weaken, and then spin back up. That's just as common with you have these very strong lines of storms here. So that's what we're seeing. This was probably going to be the one that came from over in Upson County. Now it's starting to spin back up as it makes its way a little bit closer, or more towards the east, I should say. And that's now what we're gonna see here in Bibb County. So again, like Gary was just saying, still watching that rotation. It's going to be over towards the Museum of Arts and Sciences, right along US Route 41 near Wesleyan College, where you have these reds that's going away from the radar, and you have these greens going towards the radar. So this is where you have that counterclockwise flow that's giving that radar indication of that possible tornado, as to why they issued that tornado warning. So again, this is going to be for Bibb County and a little bit into Jones County. And so what I'm gonna check is actually the speed of this system right here, so we can put a tracker on it as well. Just give me a couple seconds here so I can check that. Moving east at 35 miles an hour. So let me just make sure our computer system is also synced up for 35 miles an hour, and we'll put a quick tracker on this. So getting that rotation here, we'll zoom it back in just a little bit. So again, still seeing a little bit of those bright reds just to the east of the Museum of Arts and Sciences, right along the US Route 41, getting close to Interstate 75. So if you live in anywhere in this vicinity right here, this is your time to be getting into your safe place in the most interior portion of wherever you happen to live, on the lowest part of wherever you happen to live. And especially if you have a basement, that's going to be the best bet as well. So here, we'll put a tracker on this just to see where it could be going in the next 10 minutes. So right around 8:02, could be getting right close towards Amerson River Park. And then by the time we make it to right around 8:05, could be getting close to Northeast High School. So it looks like this rotation is going to be a little bit towards the north of downtown Macon, but it still is going to be included within this tornado warning. So regardless, if you're in this polygon, I want you to be getting into your safe place right now to be as safe as possible. And apologies if I'm checking my phone, I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything in case we get any new updates or any new warnings as well. So it looks like we just got an extension of that severe thunderstorm warning on top of this tornado warning as well. So we'll go back to the radar itself just to give a quick look at this and zoom it up to right now in terms of the loop speed, put it up to current time. So still we're going to be watching this leading edge right here. This is where we have that front just behind it, helping to push some of these storms through, and again, allowing us to see a brief spin up tornado. So it looks like that severe thunderstorm warning has been extended just a little bit into Baldwin, a little bit into Twiggs and Wilkinson, and just really extending to what it is, or timing wise as well. Still going to be watching this tornado warning. That's going to be for Bibb County and a little bit into Jones as well. Still seeing some more of those reds and those greens, but it's not as prominent as it once was, which is always some good news, but it still is going to be right along US Route 41. So we're going to zoom in and give some more of those specific roads. So if you happen to live near Drury Road, near Bonita Place, near Sugarloaf Circle, or Osborne Place, this is going to be right over top of your area, and this is when you need to be getting into your safe place. Again, this is going to be a tornado warning. That is for Bibb County and also into Jones County as well. Starting to get some more of that heavy rain, especially here at the studio. You can start to hear it on our roof right now. So again, this polygon is going to be including downtown Macon. So you want to make sure that if you're in this polygon, anywhere within this red polygon, that you're getting into your safe place right now and getting into the most interior portion of wherever you happen to live and the lowermost part of wherever you happen to live. And especially if you have a basement, that's also a great place to get as well. So still seeing a little bit of those bright greens, a little bit of those bright reds mixed in. over here towards Amerson River Park, going right over top of 75. So if you live near Windsor Road, near Burris Road, near Pierce Drive North, I should say, this is your time to be getting into your safe place. Now, it hasn't been confirmed yet, but I still just want to check our debris tracker just in case I see anything on here that can kind of give us a little bit more of an indication of whether or not this might be on the ground. Right now, good news is I'm not seeing anything. This is not telling me anything definitive. This isn't telling me that we're seeing anything on the ground, which is some good news. But we're still going to be watching this warning and following with it as long as it is active. And one of my producers in the back is telling us that it's also, it's still raining really good here at the station. We can hear it in here in the studio. This roof is pretty loud usually whenever it rains, even loud for them to hear it in the back now. So it is raining pretty good. And what we can do is see if we can even see anything from our downtown camera. So let's see about that. If I can get that pulled up here. Just gotta change over real quick. And then have that pull up for me. Yeah, so there we go. It's raining really good here in downtown Macon. This is the camera that's up on top of our station from the Wilson Bryan Heating and Air Skycast Network. It is just really coming down with all of that rain. People are out there driving slow, which is good. Temperature-wise, right about 65, but not seeing anything definitive on this camera. So we are just gonna go back and stick with our velocity to really keep up with where that rotation still could be within this tornado warning. So still going to be seeing a little bit of the brightness within some of those greens and those reds right here. Now looks to be a little bit more into Jones County rather than here in Bibb. So we'll zoom into this. This is going to be where Welker Circle, East Colonial Drive, and over towards Stagecoach Road. So this is going to be wherever you need to be getting into your safe place. All right, Gary, do you have anything over on your end?
Yeah, no, I just was looking at, and again, I'm going to use Max 2 right now just for the sake of things. We'll get everything straightened up in just a minute. Looking at the debris tracker, it looks like we are looking at just maybe a little bit of something that kind of jumped out at us here. Let me go back. Again, nothing really definitive as far as a ball or anything, but we're looking at maybe just a little bit of something here. That really doesn't mean a whole lot, but just something that jumps out, and that is not too far from the Payne City area, just south of the Museum of Arts and Science. And that's what we were pointing out where the possible rotation was just a little bit ago. So again, that is to the east of 475, between 475 and Vineville, and downtown Macon, looking at that area right there. It kind of sticks out. It's between Pine Valley Drive and heading up to Pound Street and Roundfield Road, right up in this area here. Possibly, maybe a little something that the radar is picking up, maybe something tossed into the atmosphere that is non-meteorological, which means it's not rain or anything like that. So just something to look at, and then maybe a little something else here. But again, this is not anything confirmed. This is just saying, looking at a few little areas there where there could be a little bit of things tossed around in the atmosphere. So just wanted to share that. But again, it's not very clear. It's kind of messy. So we just felt, we knew that there was some type of circulation down close to this area, not too far from Payne City. And then these blitzes are showing up right there in pretty much the same area. So just wanted to let you know about that.
All right, thanks, Gary. And also, we actually did just get a new tornado warning. I think it's now going to be maybe an extension. Yeah, there we go, an extension of that warning. So if you don't mind pushing that for me real quick as well, just because that's now going to be for only Jones County. So I think it's going to be following the warning we were just talking about, just going to be an extension on some of that rotation right here. So we'll zoom back in and highlight that. So this is now going to be for Jones County. So this is going to be including the city of Gray. This is going to include the city of James, especially along Georgia Highway 22 and US Route 129. So if you happen to be anywhere in this polygon right here, this is your time to be getting into your safe place. So we'll zoom in here, so get a look at that rotation that they are picking up on. So that's going to be right in here. So again, we're going to have these greens right here. This is going to be going towards the radar. Then we have our reds over here. This is going to be going away. So this is where we get that counterclockwise direction, giving us the indication that there is that possibility for a tornado out there. So that is why it got extended and or just added to Jones County in general. So we'll zoom in here, give a little bit more of specifics on those roads. This is going to be right over top of Walnut Creek Trail. This is going to be on top of Graham Road, over McKay Road. This is in Jones County. So this is an active tornado warning. We still do have that tornado warning over for Bibb County in Jones as well. What I'm going to do is check in with our partners at the National Weather Service, see if they're seeing anything else in addition to what I could be seeing as well, just so I don't miss anything on my end. Okay. So we're still watching these two different warnings right here. Still have the one that's going to be for Bibb and a little bit into Jones County. Still seeing a little bit of that bright green right here, but this could be more of just straight line winds because it's not exactly lining up with these greens and reds with the radar specifically. Still do have that. So if you're going to be in either one of these two polygons right here, this is going to be active tornado warnings. This is when you need to be getting into your safe place right now, the most interior part of wherever you happen to live, or away from windows on the lowest floor that you can possibly get to. That's going to be your safest bet, especially if you have an interior closet, if you happen to have an interior hallway, maybe even some stairs you can get under. That would be a good bet as well, and even a bathroom with no windows. And if you happen to have a basement, that's also going to be the best place to go, to be below the ground and away from the tornado as much as possible. So across the board, we have those two tornado warnings still in effect across middle Georgia. Still do have those severe thunderstorm warnings for portions of the mid-state as well. Those are going to go from all the way from Putnam and Jasper, all the way down through Baldwin, all down towards Houston and Houston and Peach County, but still do have these two active tornado warnings in Bibb and also into Jones County. So we're still going to focus on those and zoom back in. Thankfully, it looks like the rotation that was over in Jones is getting a little bit more broad. And when I say broad, I mean that these colors are not touching nearly as much. They're not going to be as bright of those colors. So before, they were a lot closer together, those greens and those reds, and they were a little bit brighter out there. So this is some good news that it looks to be broadening just a little bit. So we have a little bit less rotation, less of a chance to be seeing that tornado on the ground. But again, still going to be within that active warning. So you still want to take your precautions and be in your safe place regardless, just because when it comes to these lines of storms, there's always going to be the chance for it to spin back up quickly. These are some of the ones we saw just from about half an hour ago to maybe even 45 minutes ago. Now over in Upson County, where it spun up, we had a tornado warning. It calmed back down and then formed that tornado warning over into Bibb and even into Jones County along the same place within that line. Because when you have these lines, you can get little kinks in them, and those kinks are where you can start to expect maybe seeing a tornado warning or two. So that's just what we're going to be watching as we head throughout the next 10 or 15 minutes, really until these expire. So we've got these two warnings. We've got the one for Bibb and Jones that's going to be expiring about in the next 4 minutes or so. And then we've got the one for Jones exclusively, and that is going to be until 8:30. So we've got these two warnings. One should expire within the next 4 minutes, especially as that area of rotation is moving out of this polygon and they haven't extended it yet. And then we still do have this other one that's going to be exclusively for Jones County, and that'll be until 8:30 a.m. And the last scan that I checked, not seeing as great of rotation, or not as tight of rotation, I should say, which is always some good news. So again, like Gary was saying a little bit earlier, I'm just going to look at the debris tracker just to see what might be going on, if there's anything that could be helping us see what might be going on. But other than that, not seeing anything at the moment, which is some good news. So we'll just keep going with our velocity over here. It looks like the tornado watch was just extended. So let's go to that graphic and see exactly where that got put out as well. All right, so the tornado watch is now going to include everybody here in middle Georgia. So before it was going to be from Hancock through Bibb all the way down towards Sumter. Now they have expanded to eastward. It's now going to include everybody here in middle Georgia, especially as we head throughout the next couple of hours and we get some more sunshine. That'll be adding some fuel to the fire with some of these storms, so we have an even greater risk to see some severe weather. Still going to be focusing on those two tornado warnings. And if you don't mind, Gary, if you could push the new tornado watch that just got extended, that would be super helpful. But still watching these 2 warnings. Again, it's going to be for Bibb and Jones County, and then one for just exclusively in Jones County as well. So the one down here in Bibb County, I'm not seeing anything extremely definitive. If there's going to be anything, it's going to be here just to the north of the Macon Downtown Airport, where you have a little bit of these greens and these reds touching right here. So this is, again, where you have your greens that are going towards the radar and you have your reds going away from the radar, but this section between the 2 colors isn't lining up exactly with the line of that radar, so it's not properly as defined, but still going to have those colors touching, and regardless, still is going to be within this polygon, so you still need to make sure you're getting into your safe place. And then we'll take away that and zoom in to give some more specifics on those roads. So this is going to be just to the south of US Route 80 and right along Georgia Highway 540, near Grant Road, near Training School Road, near Kings Park Circle. So if you happen to live in this area, that rotation is going to be over top of you right now, and this is that time to be getting into your safe place and making sure you're getting as safe as possible. And getting into that safe place can include getting a helmet for yourself in case anything is to fall on you, making sure you get also some shoes just in case you have to step over any debris. That's also going to help save your feet. And just getting into the most inner portion of wherever you happen to live. And it looks like the one that was in Jones actually has been lifted before the expired time. So that is some good news. Now we just have the 1 tornado warning that's still going to be for Bibb and a little bit into Jones, and is getting close to the end of this polygon right here. And it should be expiring within the next minute or so. So we're still going to keep with it. We're still going to make sure we're staying in our safe places until this does expire. Should be expiring in about a minute or so, but this is still going to be for Bibb and Jones County. And if we see any of that rotation, it's still going to be just down here at the intersection of US Route 80 and Georgia Highway 540, right near Donnan Road and also North Franklin Road. That's where that rotation is still going to be within this warning. And thankfully, it has since expired. So we'll go back to a big picture here across the board in Middle Georgia. So we did just have those 2 tornado warnings, and thankfully they have both expired. Now we're just left with those severe thunderstorm warning that's going to be from Baldwin County over into Jones County, all the way down into Peach and a little bit into Houston as well. So still do have that severe thunderstorm warning, but that seems to be the only one right now across Middle Georgia. And maybe one just down here now bleeding a little bit over into Sumter County from some of that line that's now down towards the south and towards the west a little bit. But we are now able to come off the air, so for those in the back, you just let me know when we're off air, and we will just go back to doing our normal live stream. So hope we were being safe out there, and hope you have a great and safe rest of your Monday. All righty. Whether or not you've been watching us after we just did our tornado warning coverage, we are now just going to be doing our live streams, at least for a few minutes. We've got some other crew that have got to do some cut-ins live on the air, so I'll only be here for a few minutes. We'll keep the stream going, and then we'll come back. But just wanted to answer any questions that could be in the Facebook chat or the YouTube chat. And yes, we did just have those two additional tornado warnings that were going to be for Bibb and Jones County, and then one that was exclusively for Jones County. But thankfully, those have both since expired. We just have the severe thunderstorm warnings out now. It's going to be for Putnam County over towards Hancock County. And then we have this bigger one. That's for Baldwin and Jones all the way down through Peach and Houston County. And then just a little bit down over towards Sumter with a little bit more of the southern and the western portion of that line now making its way through middle Georgia. So just gonna check in. Is Warner Robins under a tornado watch as well? So for Kaylee, yes, it is still going to be under a tornado watch. That's going to be this yellow shade right here. So Houston's going to be over here with Warner Robins. Still going to be under that tornado watch, especially as this main line moves on through. But you'll notice other portions of the mid-state have already been taken out of that tornado watch. So like other places like Upson over towards Monroe, up into Butts and Jasper, they're not going to be in that yellow shade, so they are out of the tornado watch. So once this main line makes its way on through your area, the severe threat is going to be pretty much dropped off and you're going to be clear of it. So it's about to go through Houston County right now. So once we get past it here in Houston County, you guys should be good for the remainder of the day. You could still see some residual showers and such, but in terms of actual severe weather, it's going to be that main line that we're watching. And we're still also seeing a few of these storms over here, especially over in downtown Dublin. So I'm gonna have our camera actually get turned to Dublin real quick and see what's going on. Looks like there's a lot of lightning going on over there, a lot of heavy rain. So here, let's get it switched on over to that. This actually doesn't look too bad, I guess just from where our camera is specifically. You can actually see a little bit of the sky back off in the distance, but definitely still seeing a little bit of lightning just off to my shoulder right over here. So maybe just getting some more rain making its way into downtown Dublin as we speak, especially a lot more lightning as well. We will go back to our radar real quick and zoom on in over on towards Dublin and hit it up to right about now. So that's going to be just to the east of Dublin. Still seeing a lot of lightning strikes in within here, just a small little thing of pink. When we start to get some pink on our radar reflectivity, that could be indicative of some hail. So that's something we'll have to be watching, especially throughout today. Main threat's going to be those damaging winds, a few brief spin-up tornadoes, and maybe even some hail mixed in. So that's definitely something we will be watching. But still just watching those severe thunderstorm warnings at the moment. And really just that leading edge that's going to be all the way over here. Once that makes its way on through, then things will be good. So what I'm gonna do is we've just got a few minutes until our other crew has to go live on air to do a cut-in. So I'm just gonna step off for a little bit, let them do their thing, and then we'll be back, kind of continue some more coverage, answer a few more questions, and just be here in case anything else comes up. So other than that, hope you've had a very safe Monday morning, although it has been a rather active one.
Live from downtown Macon, this is WGXA News This Morning.
Good morning, Middle Georgia. I'm Ansley Edwards with your morning news update. Local government offices are changing their schedules today. Jones County offices will open at 10. Milledgeville non-essential offices open at 10:30. Crawford, Macon-Bibb County and City of Warner Robins offices and the Macon Water Authority are opening at 12. Bibb County Superior Court says jurors do not have to report to the courthouse today. Middle Georgia Regional Library branches will open at 11. And Macon buses will start running later today. The Macon-Bibb County Transit Authority says regular bus services will start at noon. That includes fixed route, paratransit, and rapid transit services. A reminder that also starting today, they are returning to previous service hours. Monday through Friday, buses will run from 5:20 to 9 p.m. and on Saturdays from 5:20 to 7 p.m.
All right, good Monday morning, everybody. A very busy morning here weather-wise. Meteorologist Noah Houck and myself here keeping you updated on everything going on. Let's take a look at the radar right now, and you can see some pretty heavy showers and thunderstorms across Middle Georgia. We're still looking at all these severe thunderstorm warnings that are in place, and let's take a look at the one in particular here that's in effect for Bibb County, Jones, Twiggs, and Wilkinson County. Severe thunderstorm warning. Some more to our north, and look at a very heavy line of showers and thunderstorms rolling through. Now the good news is pretty much Macon, you're done with the severe weather. Now this afternoon we're going to watch the colder air moving into Middle Georgia as temperatures will be dropping during the day, and by this afternoon we'll be right around that 50-degree mark, and then overnight tonight upper 20s to near 30. Check 1, 2. There we go. All right, I'm ready. Well, happy Monday, everybody. After a very busy morning weather-wise here in Middle Georgia, we saw some severe thunderstorm warnings, even some tornado warnings across portions of Middle Georgia. The rest of the afternoon, we're going to be left with, I think, mostly cloudy skies. Most of the rain will be moving out of here, carrying the severe weather with it. Now we're going to be left with cold air pouring back into Middle Georgia. This afternoon, temperatures will likely be falling to right around the 50-degree mark, possibly upper 40s in some locations. And then tomorrow morning, we're going to be waking up with freezing temperatures or below, as we do have a freeze warning in effect for tonight into tomorrow morning here in Middle Georgia. Now tomorrow, we'll see the sunshine returning to Middle Georgia, but despite the sunshine, temperatures well below average. Our highs tomorrow only in the low to mid 50s. And then we'll start out Wednesday morning very chilly again, right around 30. Could see some upper 20s again. And during the day on Wednesday, we'll see some more clouds moving in. But despite the clouds, I think we'll be staying dry on Wednesday. Temperatures will stay in the 50s for our afternoon highs. And then as we get into Thursday, perhaps a few clouds still sticking around, but we will begin to warm up Thursday, Friday into the weekend. Temperatures warming into the 70s. And by the weekend, we're back into the 80s and we'll see a good deal of sunshine. So after today, we're pretty much done with the rain. You can see the rainfall forecast. We had that heavy rain early this morning. The rest of the day into the rest of the week and the weekend, we are going to be staying dry here in Middle Georgia, even though we could use the rain, just not a lot in the forecast after today. And then looking at the 10-day temperature trend, the average high this time of year is 70. Now temperatures will be dropping during the day today, so we'll be dropping to near 50. That's well below average. Tomorrow and Wednesday, you can see staying in the 50s. As we get into Thursday, getting up pretty close to average. But look at Friday, the weekend, and even into next week, looking at temperatures beginning to run a little bit above average once again. So after the thunderstorms today, we're going to see the clouds sticking around, temperatures dropping during the day into the low 50s. Tonight, we'll be looking at temperatures dropping to the upper 20s to near 30 with mostly clear skies. And there's our 10-day forecast showing tomorrow being St. Patrick's Day, low to mid 50s, and then we'll see the 50s hanging around Wednesday with the clouds around. And then Thursday through the rest of the week into the weekend, as we said, we will be warming up some, and you can see us getting back up to the 80s by the weekend. So just get through the next couple of days, cold spell moving back into Middle Georgia, and we will begin to rebound nicely as we get into Thursday through the weekend.
All right. We're back doing our live stream after they were able to get in their cut-ins and everything done. Still dealing with some severe thunderstorms across Middle Georgia. They're going to span quite a ways away across the mid-state, just because we have a pretty big line making its way on through. So we'll bump it up to now on the loop to current time and kind of just go down the line. So up north is going to be making its way into Hancock County, right over top of Lake Oconee. So got some heavy rain mixed in there. Not a whole lot of lightning activity. Definitely seeing some heavy rain with those reds mixed in. Also going over top of Lake St. Clair right now, just over top of to the north of Milledgeville. Some heavy rain mixed in. As we go a little bit now down towards the south, making its way through Coopers, Ivy, Gordon, that's going to be over into Wilkinson County, then bleeding a little bit more into Twiggs, just to the north of Jeffersonville. Not seeing nearly as much heavy rain. It's going to be those yellows and those oranges. Still probably a pretty good downpour over there. And as we keep making our way down towards the south, now making its way past Warner Robins, going through Perry right now, going through Montezuma over in Macon County. Then as we head a little more towards the south, now seeing that severe thunderstorm warning also extended for Sumter County and a little bit into Sly and also Macon County as well. So still seeing a little bit of that heavy rain with those yellows, those oranges, those reds, a little bit of lightning as well. So that's going to be the main leading edge where that front is going to be. And once you make it to the back side of that leading edge, or rather to the west, over in this area, you guys are good. Once you have made it into this area, you'll notice even that tornado watch or that yellow shading has now fallen out. It's not going to be over into Jasper County. It's not in Monroe. It's not in Upson. So once you make it past that leading edge, that tornado watch is eventually going to get trimmed away. And also just going to deal with some residual showers out there, but the main severe threat is along this leading edge and off towards the east. So still seeing some pretty good storms over towards Wrightsville. That's going to be over in Johnson County. At the moment, it's not going to be severely warned, but it's still going to have a pretty good amount of lightning mixed in there. This is going to be right over towards Kite, just along Georgia Highway 57 and just to the south of US Route 319. Again, not actively warned as a severe thunderstorm warning, but still going to see a lot of rain, a lot of lightning mixed in, probably a little pretty windy over there as well. But other than that, we just have those few warnings out there. And then another part of that kind of prefrontal line out down towards Wilcox County, a little bit into Crisp County as well. So going through Abbeville right here, some more of that heavier rain over through Rochelle and over towards Warwick and just to the south of Cordele. So still dealing with the chances to see some more severe weather as we head throughout the remainder of really this morning. But at the moment, we're still just dealing with those severe thunderstorm warnings. And what I'm going to do is see how fast those are moving so we can put a tracker on them, and then we will go from there. I just need to check to see exactly how fast they are moving before I can do that to make sure I get a somewhat accurate representation of how fast they could be moving here. All right, my phone is giving me issues, so let me try and figure that out here. Okay, gotcha. Thank you for that. I've got one of my directors talking to me, telling me the speeds, because my phone is deciding to be a little wonky on me, so we'll put that in here real quick and make sure it's up to the right speed. And then we will take this leading edge, draw that line right there along it, and then bring it out. We'll bring it about for the next hour or so. So this is just a rough estimate of where we could see that leading edge making its way through over the next hour or so. So right around 8:45 could be going towards Elko and Unadilla, and then by the time we get closing in on about 9 a.m., now closing in on Sandersville over towards Hawkinsville. Then as we get a little bit more down towards 9:15 territory, getting close to Chester, towards Dublin, and even towards Wrightsville, and then all the way down towards 9:30. So in about 50 minutes, seeing it getting towards Eastman, Dodge County Elementary School, and even maybe towards South Dodge with just about an hour out. So it's moving at roughly 50 miles an hour. So we'll just be watching that as we head throughout the next hour or so. Again, no active tornado warnings right now, which is good. We just do have those severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. It's going to be up from Hancock County all the way down towards Houston County, a little bit into Pulaski County right here. And then another smaller one over for Sumter and a little bit into Macon as well. Gotcha. All right, and my director was telling me that over in Upson County, we have some power outages and even confirmed reports of pebble-sized hail. So definitely saw some severe weather that went through there a little bit earlier, especially with that tornado warning we saw over in Upson County, where you're seeing more of that pink core associated, and that was giving me the indication that there was the potential to see some hail, and it turns out there was some hail with that. So I'm also checking with our other, let's see, with the National Weather Service, seeing what they're saying, seeing if they're seeing anything that I'm not seeing. And we'll go through, answer some questions on Facebook. And then if we're just still sticking with the severe thunderstorm warnings, then I'm gonna let this run here in the background, have it be on a loop, and then if anything changes, we'll come back on here, or if not, in the next 15 or 20 minutes, come back and do another update or so. But still just watching for the chance to see some severe thunderstorms, maybe a brief spin-up tornado or two, and maybe even some hail mixed in as well. All right, and then somebody was asking about Hazelhurst, so that's not going to be quite in our DMA, it's going to be right just outside of it. So it looks like you've got some of those showers right now going close to Hazelhurst, but in terms of the actual line itself making its way over towards your area, it's probably going to be another hour and a half to maybe even 2 hours before you could possibly see some of that, but you do have some more of this prefrontal, these storms right here. Those could be making their way towards Hazelhurst within the next 30 minutes to maybe an hour or so. But at the moment, just seeing some showers, not really any storms over there at the moment. But for now, since we just have those severe thunderstorm warnings, I am just gonna leave it on this loop. And again, I'll come back within the next 20 minutes or so and see, what's it called? I will come back and give an update. And yeah, other than that, hope you guys are staying safe out there, especially starting off your Monday, starting off a new work week. And we will be back with any new information and or any new updates.
Live from downtown Macon, this is WGXA News This Morning.
Good morning, Middle Georgia. I'm Ansley Edwards with your morning news update. Looking ahead, severe weather hit parts of Middle Georgia this morning, including Crisp County. The sheriff's office sharing this photo of trees down blocking a road. They say they have reports of multiple trees down on several roads in the county and that crews and public safety partners are responding to these hazards as quickly as possible. And local government offices are also changing their schedules today. Jones County offices will open at 10. Milledgeville non-essential offices open at 10:30. Crawford, Macon, Bibb County, and the City of Warner Robins offices, as well as the Macon Water Authority, are opening at 12. Bibb County Superior Court says jurors do not have to report to the courthouse today. Middle Georgia Regional Library branches will open at 11.
Well, we definitely saw some severe weather here in Middle Georgia this morning. Tornado warnings a few, and we still have some severe thunderstorm warnings just to our east, and the entire yellow shaded area here is where we have a tornado watch that continues in effect a little bit longer. Watching this squall line move through, so Macon right now, you're pretty much clear and out of the threats for severe weather. That includes all the way up to Jasper County, down toward the Montezuma area. Most of it now will be focused to our east, where we could still see some strong to severe storms. Now, once we get behind the front, we'll keep the clouds, but temperatures will drop during the day from the 60s to near 50 by the afternoon. And then tomorrow morning, we'll get up with temperatures in the upper 20s to near 30. 10-day forecast is showing tomorrow quite chilly, low to mid 50s only. We'll warm up Thursday through the weekend.
You want me to go ahead and read the cart number, or? Oh, I'm so sorry. This is the 2-minute news cut in for WGXA, cart number 141363.
You're watching WGXA News Afternoon Update.
Good afternoon, Middle Georgia. I'm Ansley Edwards with your news update. Well, looking ahead, the cherry blossom trees here in Macon Bibb are beginning to bloom, so you know what that means. It is time for the pinkest party on earth. Get ready to think, breathe, and live pink because the 44th annual Cherry Blossom Festival is kicking off this Friday. The opening ceremony starts at 12 p.m. at Carolyn Creighton Park, followed by a day of events, including a performance from the Royal Legacy Circus and the tethered hot air balloon rides. The food, fun, and entertainment will go through March the 29th.
And unfortunately, it's not going to feel like spring starting this afternoon all the way through Wednesday, but by Thursday and Friday, when the Cherry Blossom Festival kicks off Friday, it will be warming up. Now, we did have some strong to severe storms roll through Middle Georgia this morning. We saw a few tornado warnings and numerous severe thunderstorm warnings. The good news is that is all out of here, and we are going to watch the cold air now begin to filter in this afternoon. We're looking at temperatures dropping to right around 50 degrees. We could see some upper 40s before sunset. Maybe a little bit of break in the cloudiness as we get toward the end of the evening, or the afternoon rather. And then looking at your evening planner, we're already in the mid 40s by 7 o'clock, and look at that, right by 11, we're already in the 30s. Now we're looking at a freeze warning that is in effect for tonight into tomorrow morning, as we'll likely see temperatures near or below freezing as we kick off our Tuesday. Looking at where we could be, we're talking about upper 20s to right around the 30-degree mark. Now tomorrow, with abundant sunshine for St. Patrick's Day, only low to mid 50s. We'll see 50s again on Wednesday with some clouds moving back in. Spring begins on Friday. We'll finally warm it up to the upper 70s, and by the weekend, we're finally back in the 80s with a lot of sunshine.
Alrighty, Middle Georgia, it is now past 9 a.m. We've been dealing with the threat for severe weather for the last couple of hours. We've seen a few tornado warnings, we've seen multiple severe thunderstorm warnings, and right now, not seeing really a whole lot out there. We are clear of any warnings right now in Middle Georgia. Still do have that tornado watch in effect for a lot of places here in Middle Georgia. Some places up towards Butts and Jasper, over towards Monroe and Upson County. Not seeing that tornado watch anymore. It has been trimmed away. So hopefully as this leading edge begins to make its way towards the east and to the south, we'll start to see more of those trimmed away as well. But at the moment, no active warnings across Middle Georgia. Of course, that could change as we head through the next hour or so here in Middle Georgia, especially since that tornado watch was extended down towards the southern and eastern portions of the mid-state. So we'll have to be watching these things closely, especially now that we have some more sunshine to work with. That'll add some fuel to the fire for some of these storms. But what could we be expecting as we head throughout the remainder of this afternoon, and really heading into tomorrow is going to be more of the big picture. So again, could be sticking around the next hour, maybe over to 2 hours, maybe right around 11, getting on out of here. Then could see some residual showers out there a little bit during those afternoon hours, and then starting to clear on out of here, but things will start to get very, very cold. But first I want to also differentiate the difference between a tornado watch and also a tornado warning. When it comes to a watch, what was that yellow shade that we just showed? That means conditions are favorable for a tornado to develop. It does not mean that there is one on the ground at all. It just means that there's the chance for a tornado to develop. So you want to make sure you're staying prepared and staying alert. But when it comes to a warning, that's when you want to make sure you're taking action and getting into your safe place. That means a tornado is either happening or is getting ready to happen out there as well. So that's when you get to the most interior part of wherever you happen to live, the lowest floor, and getting away from any windows if at all possible. But heading into the remainder of tonight and really heading into tomorrow is when this freeze warning is going to start to become a problem. So that's going to be for the entirety of Middle Georgia, where we have this freeze warning. So that'll be heading into tomorrow morning and even Wednesday morning as well, but mainly going to be for tonight as well. In terms of actual temperatures, though, as we head throughout the next few hours, by the time we make it to early afternoon, start to see more of a stark difference across the mid-state. So right around 2 p.m., could be seeing temperatures all the way over towards 46 degrees in Thomaston. But then by the time you make it to over towards Mount Vernon, already right about 66 degrees. So a pretty stark difference right there. Then as we start to roll into tonight, right around 8 p.m., already could see some places already now going to be into those upper 30s, over towards Mount Vernon right around the low 50s. And then tomorrow morning, temperature-wise, going to be in those upper 20s for some, especially for those that are going to be up into those northern counties, especially up towards Monticello, Eatonton, maybe over towards Thomaston, and Macon also has a possibility to drop down into those 20s as well. So that's why you've got that freeze warning in effect. And then as we head into Tuesday afternoon, it's not going to be a super warm day out there. It's definitely going to feel a little bit more like winter because we're not done with winter quite yet. Still have a few days left holding on. But high temperature-wise, right in those low to maybe even those mid 50s. And then as we head into Wednesday morning, once again have the chance to see those temperatures getting to at freezing and or below freezing as well. So definitely is something to keep in mind even once we make it past the remainder of our severe threat later today. This is, again, no active warnings right now across Middle Georgia, which is the good news because we've been having some active warnings for the last couple of hours. So the fact that we don't have any right now is great. It doesn't mean we still can't see any over the next couple of hours, especially, which here, I'm going to have it stop at the current time. We still have our leading edge right here that made it past Sparta. It's going through Sandersville, right before Dublin, and all the way down into Dooley and a little bit into Sumter. That's the leading edge that we're going to be watching as we make it through the next hour or so. But right now, no active warnings. And then once we make it through today, have the chance to see those freezing temperatures throughout the remainder of tonight into tomorrow morning and even Wednesday morning as well. So this leading edge will be getting out of here around 11:30 a.m. And then things will be good for the remainder of the afternoon in terms of that severe threat. Still do have that yellow shading in effect for a lot of places still. That's going to be that tornado watch. But even if you're in that yellow shading, but you're towards the west of this line right here, you're good. You're in the clear. It's really just this line and towards the east and to the south is what we're still watching in terms of that severe threat. But other than that, things are okay right now. We'll come back and update if there are anything or any new updates or any new warnings that come out. But for the moment, I'm going to leave it and hope that everything goes to plan and everything is going to behave for the next little bit. But again, if things are to change, we'll come back here and update you guys. But other than that, we hope you have a great rest of your Monday and are staying safe out there.